Welcome to another episode of Fear the Talking Heads, where we're going to be talking about 10 movies that you need to add to your watch list. Some of these you've already seen, some of these will just be a revisit, but since it's Shark Week, we threw in sharks and some other little creatures that you should probably watch out for. We have drinks today that we're going to be making.
We took Mio and
Oh,
froze them into
it's not
ice
going to
cubes.
show.
You got Gatorade, Cool Blue Zero. My background's like blurring everything out.
There we go.
I got a little lemonade to add to mine. We're going to top these things off with some gummy sharks.
Yes. Well, mine is a Swedish fish, but we're just going to pretend like it's a red shark.
That's okay, because not everything in this episode is shark related anyway. So
You're right. There's about to be some blood in the water. Hang on.
I think like a whole crew just got massacred here in mine. Whatever, it's all good.
There's no water left in yours. It's all blood.
No water. I'm just going to throw
Okay.
these sharks in here.
Mine is showing blood on the top, which I guess would be real life.
That is
wouldn't
good.
it?
Wow. I'm impressed. Yeah, it looks nice.
Cheers. We got our drinks. We're ready for the beach. I don't know if we're going to go in the water. You know what I'm saying? Stuff happens in there. I've seen a lot of movies. And I think we should probably just take caution and let all the other fools go in the water. What do you think?
I'm going to tell you, I went to the beach for the first time about 4 years ago in my whole life. And I had no desire to get in the ocean then. After watching all these movies this past week, I certainly have no reason to ever want to get into the ocean. It's terrifying down there. I love bad movies. And some of the ones that I will be speaking on today, quite frankly, are probably pretty bad. The thing is I wanted to approach this episode a little differently. I wanted to watch some movies this past week that I'd never seen and just report back to you guys whether it was good or bad. There were a lot of things that I found redeeming and enjoyable in most of these movies, and these might be right up some of your all's alley. All right, so I'm kicking mine off with a movie that I'd never seen, believe it or not. It was directed by Joe Dante. This is 1978's Piranha, the original.
Yeah.
And now, like most monster movies in the past 60 years, Roger Corman was an executive producer on this thing. And stars Paul Bartel, Dick Miller. Now, Paul Bartel and Dick Miller were used a lot in a lot of like Jim Wynorski movies that had Roger Corman associated with them. Like they're both in Chopping Mall, and Roger Corman was an executive producer on that. So let me preface this by saying that after Spielberg's Jaws hit, any monster movie that was related to the ocean or the water after this was obviously inspired by Jaws. And I like to call that Jaws exploitation. I mean, like people knew it was a success and they were going to take off running with whatever they could. And there were so many monster sea creature movies coming out around this time. So Piranha was no exception. So we start off, and I just want to mention there's an insurance investigator, and this is a woman who goes and finds people that are missing, and she's trying to recover these people and see what's going on with them. I guess maybe like a wellness check. She's in an airport at the beginning of the movie, and she's playing a Jaws arcade game in the airport, which I thought was super cool. But she's on her way to, I believe it was Texas, to find these two missing teens disappear in the water at the beginning of the movie. And when she gets there, she meets a unemployed alcoholic who lives in a cabin alone, divorced. He's going to guide her to help her try to find these two teens. And he brings her to this abandoned military facility. And what you find out once is that these different little creatures and monsters and things have been experimented on and genetically engineered, and lots of weird things are kept in jars. And so she decides that she's going to drain the swamp and try to find the bodies of these kids. Well, when she does that, it releases a bunch of piranha into the main river stream. And these piranha, you find out, are genetically mutated and engineered for strength and speed, and they were going to be used as weapons in the Vietnam War. And they make their way to a nearby resort slash summer camp for kids, and shenanigans ensue.
That doesn't sound good.
It's not good, right? This is one of my five that I think I enjoyed the most. It's very Joe Dante, I think. You know how he is with creature movies.
Oh yeah.
Even though it takes place in a river with some fish, it's kind of got a Gremlins feel to it. I love the scenes when the piranha attack the victims in the water and you get that underwater view and they're squirming around and making those little noises and eating away at the bodies.
So that's a
Yeah.
good one to watch. I feel like if you're wanting something a little more modern, I have one for you. There's probably about six different Piranha movies. I could be off on that, might give or take one. This one has prehistoric piranha.
Oh man.
I know.
Piranha spent eons in underground lakes, rivers. So fish can become confused and try to enter man-made drainage systems.
Somehow they get into the pool system.
Not the
Yeah,
pool.
that is another layer of freak out for me.
Like you can't
Like
even get in the pool
you
anymore.
can't get in the swimming pool.
Be in your bathtub next thing you know.
I think it's a fun movie though. And I think that if you like the Piranha movies in general, I think you should give those a chance. Ving Rhames is in it.
Bring me my legs.
I have the one with Elizabeth Shue in it, and I that
Yes.
was my first ever viewing of a piranha movie.
Oh, was
And I
it?
was like, wow, that's wild.
See, now that's why I don't go in the water.
No, I'm just not doing it.
These
No,
people
so
too that swim in lakes and rivers and stuff, like, why are you doing that? Something's in
well,
there.
and all animals aside, what else is in there? I mean, come on. No, for two people who don't want to get in the ocean or any kind of water, we sure are decked out today. Well, we sure look like we just love it, don't we?
Swimming, it's not for me.
I was gonna say we'll save people when they drown, but
That's what we'll do.
I think they might be on their own. I'll just throw them a life raft.
I'll get Hasselhoff down there and get him running on the beach. And
That's what's funny too, is Hasselhoff said that he would play in it as long as he would be allowed to kind of make fun of his character from Baywatch.
is Hasselhoff in it?
Yes.
First of all, I'm not a lifeguard. Never was. Secondly, that is what natural selection's all about.
Is it?
Christopher
Okay.
Lloyd's in it.
Christopher Lloyd is in it?
Yes. You have to watch
This
it
is like
now.
all-star cast to
I'm
me, man.
saying, and it's summer. People should be watching
It
these.
should be. Now, I will say too, Piranha, the first one that I talked about, is available on Tubi for free. I tried to find Piranha 2 on there. It's not available. Where did you watch
Yeah, that's a
yours
shame.
at?
Tubi, I think.
It was on Tubi.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
everything seems to be on Tubi. And if I can't find it on Tubi, sometimes I can find it on YouTube.
That's true. Yeah.
Someone that's uploaded it
Yeah.
somehow under the radar.
And we thank you for doing that.
Thank you for your
Yeah.
service.
Yeah. I'm going to talk about something that is very near and dear to my heart that a lot of people just don't seem to share the sentiment. But 1983, Jaws 3D is what I'm going to talk about. And listen, Jaws, it's a classic, right? Your first big summer blockbuster movie. It's the movie that set off all of these movies that we're talking about today. But Jaws 3, I think, is my favorite. And I'm not just ironically saying that. I genuinely enjoy Jaws 3 quite a bit. At that time, 1983, 3D was a huge gimmick, right? Like with movies. I mean, you had it with Friday the 13th Part 3. Who knows how many other movies were utilizing it. But looking back on it, yeah, the 3D was a little hokey. It's a little cheesy, but it's part of the charm of it. Jaws 3 stars Dennis Quaid, Louis Gossett Jr., and actually ends up being Leah Thompson's first movie. You know, Leah Thompson from Back to the
Oh,
Future, Caroline in the City,
yeah.
to her first feature film. So the movie centers around Dennis Quaid as one of the Brody kids from, the Brody family of Jaws lore. The Brody kids are now working at SeaWorld Orlando, and Dennis Quaid, he's dating a well biologist that works there in the park, and the park is about to open a new undersea kingdom exhibit, which allows the patrons to go underwater into these tunnels and lets you get down in the ocean and see all the sea life up close and experience it. It turns out the park is accessible through all these several underwater gates, and one of the gates ends up malfunctioning, and a little baby shark wanders in, starts killing some people. And
Well, he's hungry, Jason.
he's hungry. That's what sharks do. They eat humans. So The crew and the whale biologist girlfriend, they rescue the shark. And they take it into captivity and try to nurse it back to health, and well-being, and then it dies in captivity. Bad news, right? Because Mama Shark's mad now,
Oh,
right? Because
yeah.
Mama Shark knows something's happened to her baby. So she gets into this park and starts wreaking havoc. And then it's just a lot of fun, man. That movie is it's something that I watch every 4th of July. And I just don't think that I could talk about sea creatures or shark movies without mentioning my love for Jaws 3. So,
I'm so glad that you brought that up instead of just Jaws because these lists, I think people sometimes look for movies, and I've seen in the comments too, they'll say, well, what about this? And it's like, well, that was kind of an obvious choice, don't you
right.
think?
How many times has that been covered? You know what I
Right.
mean? Like, yeah.
So since you brought up your favorite one, I'm going to bring up my favorite one next.
All right.
Deep Blue Sea. It's so good. It has LL Cool J in it. He is awesome. He's the chef. Okay, there's this compound, and they're trying to do research on these sharks to try to get a cure for Alzheimer's. They become
Hmm.
smarter animals and they learn how to escape the compound and go after the people on this one boat. Thomas Jane, who works for her, he took it under control and got him back to the compound and everything. But he said, we got to raise these gates. Something's going on here. They shouldn't be able to get out like this. So he didn't know that she was kind of messing around with it and increasing the dosages that she was giving the sharks and making things much worse. But things go really wrong. Otherwise, we wouldn't have a cool Deep Blue Sea movie. And
Yeah.
also, Samuel L. Jackson is in this too.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah. I think the reason why I love it so much is because it introduces this element of we're starting to modify these big, huge beasts of the ocean.
You can take away from just about every movie we're talking about today, you don't mess with nature.
Yes.
Quit quit playing with that stuff. Anyway,
Yeah. So when she gets to a point, she's got Samuel L. Jackson there, and I think he's kind of like a an investor of some sort. And basically they're gonna pull funding because they're like, we've given you all this time and you still haven't come up with a cure. And then an accident happens where the shark injures someone and so they try to airlift him away, and then there's a storm, and it just goes from there. It's so good. And I don't want to give this away, but there's a scene with Samuel L. Jackson that I remember the first time that I watched it. I had to back it up and replay it. There was an explosion outside, and so now we have to try to figure out how are we going to get out of here because the water is coming in. And if the water is coming in, other things are coming in. So the
right.
freaking sharks are getting in the compound. You can't have a shark movie without having some casualties.
You can't make an omelet without breaking a few eggs.
I'm just saying,
Well,
Jason.
um,
It reminded me of yours, how you
I was
said,
going to say that you
well,
watch those gates. You got to watch those gates.
I'm telling you.
This next one is probably my least favorite out of the bunch. But like I said, I wasn't going to discard it. I was going to report on it. So, in my search for 2B shark movies and creature movies, I ran across one which the cover art sold me. I like if I had this on a poster, I would gladly hang this up. It just looked like something that was right up my alley. It's from 1989. It's called Deep Blood. It's an Italian shark movie, but I feel it's very, very American. I feel like it was shot here. It starts off with these kids on a beach, and they're roasting some hot dogs over a campfire, and this Native American guy approaches them and just proceeds to tell them, listen, there's an old tale of great monsters that are gonna destroy the entire village and it will happen to you. And they're like, oh, okay. He's like, well, you need to take a blood oath. Okay. So he just gets these kids to start. Listen, there's no, I don't know. Don't ask. I don't know. They all take their pocket knives and do a blood oath with this Native American. He disappears. Apparently, it's like this ancient evil curse. Years later, these kids are all still friends. They're on summer break. I think they're getting ready to maybe go to college or whatever. A lot of people are dying from shark attacks in the area. And it turns out that it's the great Native American evil that this guy had warned them about all these years ago. And and it's up to you to stop them, right? Like, I don't know.
But
Listen,
you
it's not
you
it's not good. It's
you
not
saw
good.
it through though. You saw it through.
I saw it through. Like it
Well,
was entertaining enough.
so if
I,
people like cheesy type of shark movies that you're just kind of playing on your phone while you're watching it, that would be a good
I
one for
I
that.
absolutely played a lot on my phone while I was watching it because some of the scenes, especially near the end, where they're like, these kids are decide, we've got to take this in our own hands to get rid of the shark. It was it was meant for us to destroy, right? So, I mean, there's like a 15 or 20-minute long sequence where they're planting dynamite under the water, and I'm like, oh my God, scroll on your phone, dude. So look, I don't know, but it was entertaining enough. And apparently, they use a lot of stock footage that they had bought from National Geographic. And there also was apparently stock footage used from this movie that came out before it called The Last Shark, which I almost watched the other night, but I decided not to.
That's kind of brilliant though. I'm over here thinking they're working smarter, not harder.
They're working smarter, not harder. I would have never known it. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I would have never known it unless I had watched The Last Shark right before it and said, wait a minute, I just saw that. But
Hold on a
no,
second.
yeah. But but also they apparently built their own mechanical shark head for this movie. Honestly, it looked fine. It looked pretty good. They use it to blow the head off the shark at the end. Spoiler alert, because like I said, they're planting dynamite. What do you think's going to happen?
Yeah.
Which was actually a cool little scene when they blow the shark's head off its body. But I don't know, like the acting is atrocious. I mean, the main so of the four kids, the main one, he gets upset with his dad at one point, and he's like, "I hate you, man. I hate you with all my heart and all my soul." And I was like, dude, that was atrocious. I don't know, guys. I mean, you might want to skip this one, but if you're looking for something bad, and watch Deep Blood.
I have a bad one, but it's intentionally bad. Sharknado.
Oh, Sharknado. Yeah.
But this
Um,
goes back to the whole things being in the pool water. This happens again in this one. So Sharknado, it's ridiculous. I saw this movie for the first time with my grandma because she raised me on horror. I've mentioned that on previous episodes. But
yeah.
some of these are just, they're funny. If they're too funny, she doesn't like it. She wants it to still have some horror aspect.
See, same.
So Sharknado is basically where there's a ton of sharks that are out on the water that the storm picks up and somehow is powerful enough to lift the sharks out of the ocean and torpedo them to different areas on land. And so now
Mm.
you're worrying about getting eaten by a shark just on the highway
Yeah.
because they're
Just
coming.
flying out of nowhere.
There's this scene where there's someone that's in the pool that's there to try to get some therapy. And all of a sudden, these sharks end up flying towards the pool. And everybody get out of the pool. And Ian Ziering is in this. And it's funny because it looks like he's taking the movie so serious. So he lights the pool on fire. And there's all these sharks that are obviously burning in the water. But it's not meant to be, if you're going to sit down and watch it, it has cool CGI scenes where they're, shark is chomping on someone, but it's not meant to be serious like Jaws.
Sure.
It's meant to be fun to sit around and on maybe a Sunday after a cookout with some friends or something. And
Yeah.
one of the sequels where they're on a plane and somehow the
Sharks on a plane.
I don't know. Some of the ridiculous, sometimes you just need your mind to shut down. If it's been a day and you just need to watch something stupid, put this one on.
Well, I ran across a little movie the other night that I thought was cool. It wasn't sharks, it wasn't fish. It was a giant pissed off octopus.
Oh no.
Yeah, the movie is Tentacles from 1977. I was like, okay, this is a different creature here. This should be fun. Beach town called Solana Beach, I think. It's actually a real beach in California. This is another Italian flick, but it was shot entirely in California. So there are several deaths going on in this seaside town, and the victims are disappearing from land. Their bodies are being discovered in the sea. But when the bodies are found, their bodies are stripped down to the skeleton, like
Oh,
the flesh, even the bone marrow has been sucked away. So there's a journalist. He's kind of this older guy. He's on the case trying to get the scoop, trying to find out what's going on. So he ends up enlisting this marine biologist, tough guy kind of dude, to try to help him get to the bottom of things. Biologist sends out two of his best divers to try to check. Now, let me just start this by saying the first victim at the beginning of the movie is an infant.
Oh,
They start off right off the bat and let you know they're not playing around here. Thing you don't see anything, but
oh,
yeah, the baby goes missing, and you're like, well, damn. He sends two of his best divers down in the area to check out the situation, and when they become victims, marine biologist tough guy decides to take matters in his own hands with the help of his two buddy young killer whales, Summer and Winter.
what?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Now, about Summer and Winter, they're like his pets, man. You know what I mean? So I'll just say this. They help him at the end to confront this giant octopus. And before it happens, he gives them an unintentionally hilarious pep talk.
Really?
It's so heartfelt. He's like, now listen, you and I have been friends for a long time. I need your help on this one. If I free you and you swim away, I understand. But I really need you right now. I love y'all. I mean, it's like, oh my God. But
You're like,
I'll
is
tell
this
you
dude for
what,
real?
I'll tell you what, man. Yeah. Like it's not meant to be funny, but I was sure chuckling through the whole thing. It's hilarious. But there are some cool kill scenes. And actually, when some of the bodies get washed up or popped up into the ocean after they get attacked, there's some really good like gore.
I was gonna say those 70s movies really hit different.
Yeah, but I think the movie, I could be wrong, but I think the movie's only rated PG. But they
Okay.
just got away with so much back in those days. But what's happening is the reason this octopus is so bloodthirsty is because he's kind of being driven mad by this company called Trojan, who's like a drilling company. They're drilling a beach tunnel in the area where he's at, and he's kind of being driven mad by the vibrations of it. And you find out that he's also attracted to one of the things that all the victims have in common was they all had radios or walkie-talkies.
Okay.
And so he's kind of attracted to that frequency and he kind of seeks that out and does his killing there. And I did say this was an Italian movie and it was shot entirely in California, but the music is very, do you know that 70s
Yes,
Italian music? I can't that you would hear in something
it's
like
very distinct.
it's very distinct.
Yeah.
There's a lot of that in this, and especially in the final confrontation underwater with this octopus. It's like a mix of that with something you'd hear in like Conan the Barbarian. I'm like, what is going on here? This is so odd. The soundtrack is so odd, but somehow I like really liked it and it worked.
Okay.
I would watch
So
Tentacles again anytime.
it's from 2003. It's called Open Water. It's based on a true story with a couple that go out on a boat and they're supposed to be diving with this diving crew with a handful of other people. And the person that was driving the boat that did the count, he counted wrong. And so when they were down in the water, he freaking left them there.
Wow.
They come up to the surface and there's no boat there, just nothing but water as far as the eye can see.
Good
And
job, dude.
oh, just the last scene, just this hopelessness. You can almost kind of picture yourself in this situation if you were someone that liked diving. I have a friend that enjoys diving that might watch this episode. And when I started to tell her about it years ago, she said, I don't want to know about it. She wants to still continue to enjoy diving. When you hear about stories like that, it can change that.
You know, it's funny that I love horror movies so much, and but when it comes to things like that, like stuff like that is hard for me to watch
Yeah. It was a
because
one-time watch for me. Yeah.
yeah, I mean, you start paralleling yourself or your other people in your life with these
Yeah.
people and thinking about yourself in that situation, and I don't know, it just doesn't leave you with a good feeling. So my last one is actually uh, based on your recommendation to me was Humanoids from the Deep from 1980. Let's start this off. You remember our werewolf episode? You mentioned the doesthedogdie.com. No need to refer to the website. I am telling you that dogs die,
Yeah.
several of them at the beginning of the movie. This was actually directed by a girl named Barbara Peters, and it was offered to Joe Dante at first, but he turned it down. Another one produced by Roger Corman, that schlocky Roger Corman feel. It's
Yeah.
all over this one. It's just with a bigger budget this time than anything he would have done in like the 60s. It takes place in this harbor town called Noyo. there's a corporation called Canco, and there's big plans to open this cannery in this harbor town. And the townspeople are all excited about it. This is going to bring job opportunities. This is going to, pump a little life into the place. And the fishermen of the area are not happy about it because they're afraid, hey, this is going to change our way of living, our lifestyle. This is going to affect everything. So Canco, they're also experimenting with these growth hormones in the salmon. And somehow the salmon, after consuming these growth hormones, are released out into the waters and they're consumed by this giant fish. And this giant fish apparently starts mutating into all these several creatures, these humanoids. What you end up seeing in the movie are these nasty, swampy, humanoid, freaking lizard fish mutants. They're
They
gross.
remind me of Creature from the Black Lagoon.
Very much creature of the Black Lagoon. And
Yeah.
I will tell you that sure, they come out, they kill dogs, they kill humans. But I'm gonna tell you what they're really here for.
Ooh, yeah. They
They're
want
here
your
to
women.
they're here to have sex with our women. After initial filming was done, Roger Corman was like, well, you know what? There's not enough boobs. There's not enough
Yeah.
sex. There's not enough gore. Yeah, Roger Corman's going to stick all that in that he can. So, yeah, throughout the movie, the townspeople and there's another, you guessed it, marine biologist. Imagine that.
You imagine that.
Another one come together and try to, stop these things. And then, the movie, they had the salmon festival there in the town. And that's when the stuff really hits the fan and the monsters all come up on land and just destroy the salmon festival and kill everybody there. And
Well, yeah,
it's
because I
just a
figured all the women were in one spot. It would
all the
make it
women are
much
there
easier.
tonight. All the girls are out at the salmon festival. That's where everybody is.
I think I've seen it like 4 times in my life.
Well, but here's the thing. After all that takes place and everything goes down and we hit the morning after the salmon festival. Now there's a girl in the movie who gets assaulted by one of these humanoids and ends up being found. She's still alive. They take her to the hospital. So after all of this, right before the credits, we see her in the hospital and she's pregnant and she's giving birth. And let's just say it leaves us on a pretty wild little scene.
Yeah.
Now, have we seen stuff like this before? Sure, but this was another one of my favorites on the list.
I actually have a double hitter. I wasn't
Okay.
going to do that. I was going to end it with 10, but I had a bonus one because there were none that I wanted to get rid of. But Underwater is another sea creature one that I thought should be mentioned because it freaked me out. It has Kristen Stewart in it.
All right.
So Underwater follows a group of workers at a drilling facility. And of course, an earthquake happens, and that creates a little bit of a portal, I guess, so that they encounter hostile creatures. But it has kind of that claustrophobic tension in it.
Mm-hmm.
And Kristen Stewart, she has to be out in the water at some point, and then you'd have just a little bit of light to see what's going on around you. That is just so suspenseful.
I'd like
And
to think that I wasn't claustrophobic, but I think I am.
yeah,
And that would get to me. Yeah.
yes. So there's like a Cthulhu type of monster in it too.
Sweet.
If you're not really so much into as many shark movies, this might be another one to check out. Like Humanoids from the Deep. Some people prefer that over the shark movies.
Sure.
So I would say you could actually do a double feature of Humanoids from the Deep and Underwater with Kristen Stewart.
Mm. See,
It's
we're here to give you options,
yeah,
guys.
yeah. We're we're
Yeah.
we're just here to give you some options so that you have
No.
some good summer type movies to watch. Because I feel like these are perfect for that.
Yeah.
47 meters down. It's these two sisters and they're vacationing. The one sister's a little more adventurous than the other one. So the adventurous one says, I think we should go do this cage diving thing so we could see some sharks up close. It'll be a lot of fun. And so they get down in there. And the problem is he didn't check his equipment or something because the rope, the tension in it, they start to feel uneasy when they're down there. She says, I want to come up. I want to come up right now. So she's saying into the microphone. So they start to bring them up, and you can see that the rope is starting to fray. And all of a sudden they
Boy.
drop
Uh,
47 meters down. And so the rest of the movie is all shot underwater. the guy has to go and try to get help because he can't just bring them up somehow when they're that far down. So they get out of the cage, even though the guy says, don't get out of the cage. And then they find out, and this is in the trailer, it's not really giving anything away, but they go to turn on a flashlight and they're surrounded by sharks.
Oh, wow.
So it kind of gives you an idea of what that's like for them. The end has a twist to it. And I love movies like that. Leans more into horror. There's no comedy in this. It's not like Sharknado at all. So what we've given you today are some goofy ones, some underrated movies, some that would be considered blockbuster hits that did really well at the box office. We mixed sharks with other creatures of the sea. So hopefully with movies that we've given you, there's something in there that you can find for watching in the summer.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And also, I do have some honorable mentions. Deep Star Six. Great movie, man. What a the monster in this thing is crazy, but very, very cool underwater horror. Leviathan with Peter Weller is another really good one. Um, I'm gonna throw out The Abyss. It's
Yeah.
not horror, it's sci-fi, but it's beautifully done. It was James Cameron, and I just feel like he was again, as he always did, was utilizing technology that wasn't really being seen yet in filmmaking, and he did just a great job with The Abyss. And I feel like if we're talking about movies that take place underwater or in the ocean, you have to mention The Abyss. Also, just if you haven't seen it, the original Creature from the Black Lagoon.
Yes.
Universal Studios. I mean, great flick. So,
Yes. And Deep Rising, Famke Janssen and Treat Williams. But
hmm,
that movie I haven't seen in years, but it has the same kind of creature as like Deep Star Six.
yeah,
That big, just,
okay,
you know,
yeah. And one last thing, I forgot to show it off when I was talking about it, but of course, I have to show my Jaws
there you
3
go.
VHS. Stay hydrated, wear your sunscreen, stay out of the water.
Stay out of the water. Enjoy the sunshine. Get your vitamin D.